Can a landlord raise my rent? And if so, by how much and when? Answers to those questions and more on today's episode. This video is really meant for both tenants and landlords, by the way, to try and help everyone be on the same page about an important subject. Ontario has rent control rules, which means that some properties are subject to restrictions regarding how much rent may be raised by. And the way to determine whether rent control applies or not is whether the specific unit was occupied prior to November 15th, 2018. If yes, then rent control is in effect. If not, then it's open season on rent increases. There are some exceptions, by the way, as not all properties are subject to the Residential Tenancies Act and or the rent control guidelines. Here's an example to show you how that line would be determined. Let's say someone who has lived in their house since 2002 decides to move away but rent out their home. That property would be subject to rent control because it was occupied, even though it's not as a rental, prior to November 15th, 2018. Now let's say that same homeowner had an unfinished basement in the house and they decided to turn it into a legal basement suite, and that renovation completed in June of 2019. The basement unit would not be subject to rent control, but the rest of the house would be. And this might be obvious, but all new construction properties built after that November date, whether it be a condo, townhouse, or a home in the suburbs, would not be subject to rent control. The increase that a rent-controlled property may be subject to is determined by the provincial government. In 2022, it's 1.2%, and starting in 2023, it's 2.5%, the maximum allowable increase. For non-rent-controlled units, rent can be raised to anything the landlord chooses, although increases are typically in line with what a similar unit's market value would be. If it's way above, then they're probably trying to get rid of you. A rent increase notice can only be given once every 12 months, and you must receive that notice at least 90 days before the increase takes effect. Note that the 90-day increase has to coincide with when you typically pay rent. Most people pay on the first of every month. So if notice is given more than a few days after the first, then the increase won't take place until almost 4 months later. I'm Jamie Harnish, Toronto Real Estate Navigator with Bosley Real Estate. I want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you watching. If you liked this video, then please give it a like, subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any upcoming new videos.